guys? Welcome back to the Cam and Joe Show. This is episode number 4. Thank you all for joining us this morning. We are in studio, Cam and myself, hello. Myself and Mr. Joe Still. We are here this morning with our good buddy, Diego Hernandez. This guy is not only just an incredible friend of mine, but just an awesome community member. This man not only is my personal go-to general contractor for anything and everything that I need, but I've literally probably sent this guy's number to probably 50% of the contacts in my phone. I love to support him. He's incredible what he does. So first off, Joe, good morning.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm happy. I'm here.
Oh, yeah, Joe's here.
Yeah.
Joe's here too.
I was waiting for it to be the Cam and Diego show. I'm like,
it was about
fine.
to be.
And I was about to leave.
And if it goes well, it may end up being the Cam and Diego show, and then we'll maybe have you on as a guest.
You know, I can't patch walls.
Yeah,
I can't do anything. I'm not handy. I can make coffee and take a good picture of you while you're drinking.
And we might keep you just because of the coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, there's that. We could work it in. We'll get to that later. But Diego, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Give us the full intro, the full rundown.
So yeah, I'm Diego Hernandez, owner of HHS and Construction Inc. We've been under a General B license for about a year. I started doing this 6 years ago. I used to work for a construction company, and I just saw the way people were being treated and the houses being built. They would hide a lot of things that I didn't agree with. So I just decided to start my own company and started helping out not just my family, but the community as well. So it kind of just took off from there. God made a way, and now we're here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We were 2 years under just a handyman business. And in that process, I was going to school and
to get my GC.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And it took me about 11 months to get that taken care of. Took my final exam, and as of October 31st, that just passed. I've been a year with my license now.
Yeah, congrats,
awesome.
bro.
Congrats.
Yeah. So yeah, it's God is good. It's all the glory and everything that's been happening in around my life, including meeting Joe and Cam and everybody else. Real estate agents and et cetera, right? Brokers, and everybody around the community has all been because of God.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any one instance that you remember when you were on a job site and you saw something happen and it just burdened your spirit where you're like,
I can't do this.
Okay, I can't do this anymore. Like, was there any, you don't have to name a construction team or a site or an employer.
Not throwing anybody under the bus. Just
but was
name
there
the
any,
bus.
yeah. Don't throw them under the bus, but could you name the bus and what freeway it was on? No.
Oh, yeah.
What was there one or any one instance where you're like, I'm not doing this anymore?
Yeah. Well, it started when COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right. A little bit after COVID, I had my 2-year-old daughter. This was just the main thing that kind of broke the ice for me. Sure. I was working for the company, and they were paying me, a very low wage. And then I had just had my daughter, and the contractor that I was working under, he wanted me to go back to work right away. And I'm just trying to enjoy having my kid.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So he keeps on calling me and just pretty much pressuring me to get back to work because I was running I was building 8 houses. I had just gotten 8 new houses, and of course he needed me. But through all that, my wife ended up getting laid off, and I had just bought my house. And I was under a lot of pressure, and I was driving very far to get to the job site because I thought that the company was going to look out for me. But when I was about to go back, I asked them to give me a raise. I wasn't asking for a whole lot, but I was explaining to him that I always passed all my inspections. I made sure that all the houses were done in a timely manner. Yeah. Everybody else's crew was finishing in like 12 months to like a year and 3 months, and I was finishing my houses in 10 months sometimes.
Which saves them a ton of money.
A ton, yeah. So I was explaining to him all that. I told him, I don't just want to raise. I do X, Y, and Z for you. You don't even show up at the job site, and everything's done properly. Well, he pretty much told me that he wasn't going to give me a raise. And that's kind of the day that I was just like, man, I mean, I get it that they have to pay people a certain amount, or they have budgets for whatever, but you know, I don't feel like I was being unreasonable, and I kind of just did it for me. I was like, man, these people, they don't really care about me. They just want me there. I'm just a number to them. And it kind of broke my heart, because I was loyal. I was driving far to get to the job site.
Sure.
So I was like, no, I'm loyal to them. It kind of did break my heart. They're a good company, and they did well, you know, for other people, but it just wasn't for me.
Sure.
I was like, if I could stay here local, you know, let me just do that. But it was, you know, I mean, it's hard, like, just being like, I'm going to go on myself. And where's the next paycheck going to come?
There's no safety blanket.
Scary.
Yeah.
There's none. You going from like, they're taking care of it. They're doing all this stuff, the paperwork, they're doing all this stuff behind and you know that.
Yeah.
And then this fear hits you and you're like, do I know how to do that?
Yeah.
And then you start doing it and you're like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But that's what did it for me. And there was a lot that was going on with the other. So my crew, I kept everybody together, and I kind of told them, look, if we're gonna be working together, we got to get along, and let's, you know, you don't necessarily have to believe in Jesus, but have some type of faith, and let's look out for each other, and we're all building these houses together. So I didn't have no problem at all with my crews. My crews would eat together.
Awesome.
You know, if one of us was suffering or we were behind, you know, we wouldn't take breaks. We would get the job done. And in the other crews, everybody was fighting because there was no stability.
Yeah.
There was nothing. Everybody was like all over the place. So that's another reason why I was just like, man, I can't do this. It's just, you know, I don't want to show up at my job to feel angry, or you know what I mean, have all these emotions.
Animosity, right, when you roll up.
Yeah, so you know, this was the best thing that I could have done for my family.
And then when you had the full autonomy to be able to go out on your own, then you have the freedom to create that team, right? And if there was an outlier, you know, pray about it, think about it, consider it, and you know what, we're bringing them into the fold, or X, Y, and Z. You know, these individuals are, you know, can pull up the slack if we don't have this guy. And then when you separated from W2 Wage Earner, and then boom, go to full on the Diego show. Ooh, there you go. There's your next podcast, the Diego show.
Yes.
Oh, great, I'm out.
Nah, the Diego. Can I come on? When you went full on Diego show, were there any guys, like right now I'm thinking of German, right?
Yeah.
On your crew, who I love as well, just awesome guy. What was German or any of your other guys that work with you now with you when you had separated from that employer?
No.
So you had to you went and found your crew.
Yeah, I was alone, and I did it. I did it for a long time, because even so, a year prior to me quitting, or it must have been like 10 months or something, I was running my handyman business, and I was working full time.
Smart,
dude. It was rough. I would leave my house 5:30, 5 o'clock, and then I wouldn't get home till 10, 11, sometimes midnight, and then wake up and do it again. That's why I tell people, I'm like, this didn't come overnight.
No.
You know, like everybody, you know, doesn't realize that what you have, like you busted your butt for
sure.
Like, you know, I mean, I remember when I started construction, I used to drive a little beat up SUV, a Saturn, a black Saturn, bro, you know? Yeah, like, and then everybody would show up with their trucks to the job site, these lifted trucks with toolboxes, and then here comes Diego with his SUV. And
this podcast brought to you by Saturn. I don't even think Saturn's a thing anymore.
No, dude, no. They got bought out by Chevy.
There you go.
Brought to you by
yeah, but yeah, I was a one man team, man, and it was, I was the guy that would you know, try to do everything, and then it takes a while for you to realize that when you're trying to run a company or anything like that, it takes a team. Just, you know, I mean, you know, you run the coffee shop, all of it. Even to get this podcast started, you need people.
Absolutely.
And that took me a while to realize. My wife was like, "Stop trying to do everything. Stop trying. We gotta hire. And I was like, "Nope. And then, you know, you learn as you go, because like. That's just, this is the school of life, right? You learn as you go,
and you want to grow organically, right? You want to, and organic growth is just so much more important than, hey, I need to fill, so I need to hire, because then you hire quickly, you hire the wrong guys. something's tingling your spidey senses, and you have to shut your spidey senses down to hire.
Yep.
If you do it like that, which obviously takes more time, more hard work, but I mean, which means more exposure to more jobs, and that grew you as a you know, as a contractor. That time. You have how many kids? 5. You don't got to say it like 5.
I got 5 kids.
There you go. That's better. That's better.
How old is your youngest, and how many did you have during the? Because I'm a father of 3 now, and I'm thank you, Joe held up the 3. I'm like, father of 3 now. I only have 60% of the amount of kids that Diego has. Pray for me though. 40%. Pray for me at least 60% of the time. Him 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So, how many kids did you guys have when you separated from that W-2 wage earner? Hey, I'm essentially unemployed today. Like, walk me through that, because that just sounds
intense. We had just
like
had our
5th
time.
You had just had your 5th.
Yeah, she's 2. No, yeah, this was 2 years ago. Yeah, 4 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I'm telling you. Like, I was like, how the heck am I gonna make this work? It was pretty rough.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't even know how that happened, but all I could explain is just a God thing.
Sure,
he looked out for me every single step of the way, because we've always been able to make our bills. We've been able to feed our pay our employees.
Yeah.
You know, we've never really struggled.
Wow.
Yeah.
So walk me through, man, because I've had those moments in my life. I'm thinking back to when I had separated from the fitness industry. Okay. I lost my dad in October of 2017. Go through that, you know, dark couple months. We were extremely close. It's through that same period of time that God is starting to put financial sector, you know, lending on my heart, which means me separating from the fitness sector, right? Started lending in spring of 18, lose my dad October 17. Those 3-4 months, I'm getting home from the gym at 7:30, 8:30 at night from late clients, see Hannah for a little bit, boot up my laptop, and then I'm doing my mortgage lending coursework until midnight, shower, get to bed, at the gym at 5:30 or 6 in the morning for those early clients, so on and so forth. But I remember the moment that I had separated from the health club, no longer on salary, no longer commissions, no income from the health club, went and took my lending license exam, did all the coursework, went and took my lending license exam, missed it by 2 points. And I had already separated from the health club. Hannah was a full-time student at the time. We were just relying on my income. I'm in Sacramento. I missed the exam by 2 points. I'm essentially unemployed. I had literally just left the health club.
It's crazy.
When you fail the lending exam, you can't take it for another 30 days.
Wow.
So I remember sitting in my car, effectively, call it what you will, unemployed, because I had left my employer. I knew I was getting into lending. I knew that I was going to pass this test, which I didn't. So I'm sitting in my car in Sacramento, unemployed, wondering, how do I explain this to my wife? We're talking about getting pregnant, having our first kid. We have a mortgage.
Yeah.
She's a full-time student. Oh my gosh. I remember how that felt. And I remember, I'm as plain as day, I just burst into tears, because I didn't want to tell anyone that, hey, I'm essentially unemployed right now. I need to take this test again. Lord willing, I pass. But I remember how that felt. And I remember the pressures of bringing that news home. So when it comes back to your situation, bringing that news home, and I remember how Hannah was. Hannah and she'll say to this day, like, she doesn't remember me going through a darker day. I was on the heels of losing my dad. I'm now separated from my employer, so between jobs or unemployed, just in a really bad spot.
For sure.
And she'll say, like, that was like one of the worst days that she has ever seen me.
Yeah.
But I remember how just loving she was, and just coming home to the opposite of what as a man, you're we are, built and designed and created to work, right? To work and provide and lead. And I felt like I was failing on all three of those. And I get home and I'm ashamed of myself, right? What was your wife's response when it was, hey, we have 4 kids. We're talking about a 5th. And right now I'm separating from my employer.
Yeah. It was, I think that we had well, shout out to Hannah, by the way.
Yeah, shout out.
She's amazing.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Man, she's a great mother, and I could tell that she supports on everything. She supports you on everything that you do.
100%.
And that is super important in a relationship. Super important, man. And so Ashley has always had faith in me.
Yeah.
I tell that from a mile away.
Yeah, I tell everybody, man, like she, and man, I used to be a very different person. And I remember when I got with her, I had legit $120 to my name.
Yeah.
And how, I remember even thinking, like, what the heck is she even doing with me?
Yeah.
I don't have my life together. But she saw the bigger picture, and
Sure.
And it's just she pushed me. So
come on.
When it came down to that, I think everybody had already been telling us, like, dude, you need to quit your job.
Just do your thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was so scared.
Sure.
And Ashley didn't. I could tell Ashley was like felt a little bit better on it because she sees the potential that I had.
Yeah.
For sure.
But and I felt like I struggled with it more than she did.
Yeah.
Because when I told her, hey, they didn't want to give me my raise, she was like, all right.
And you're like,
what do you mean, all right?
Yeah, just go, okay.
No, it's not all right. But why are you so optimistic?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
we have walked personally through a lot of that, and I'll bring something to Hannah like that I think will like make her uneasy. And I'm like, oh yeah, this and this. She's like, it's fine. What are you worried about? I'm like, because X, Y, and Z.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, it'll be fine. Like, how many times has God showed up in our finances or in our marriage or anytime we ask him to, and he does?
Yeah.
Why are we doubting him?
Why? Yeah. That faith.
And then your faith just goes.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, and even you failing your test, dude, same thing happened to me. I swear, same thing. Like when I went to go take my GC test.
Yeah.
So there's 2 parts of the test. There, when you go for your C license, you don't have to take a law exam.
Yeah.
But when you go for your GC, you have to take the law exam because, of course, you're gonna have employees and whatever.
You got to know your logistics.
Sure. And so I passed my law exam. I mean, surprisingly, no problem.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, until you passed. I said, oh, crap. If anything, I was expecting to.
Diego Hernandez with an H? Yeah, that's me.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Are
you sure that,
you're checking again.
You're like, don't be a jerk to your employees. I think I can do that. I think I can do that.
Dude, I was super surprised that I passed that right away. So then right away after you take your law exam, they tell you, hey, do you want to take your trade exam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm already here. Let's do it. And I failed it by one question, dude.
Oh, that's the
one
worst.
question. Oh, dude.
With you, man.
Yeah, I was, man. I went to the parking lot and I wanted to cry.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, how the heck did this happen?
Hold on, Diego. I cried and you wanted to cry. What's that saying about me? I'm
a little bit tougher.
That's straight up. I wasn't going to say anything, but he's definitely.
Yeah, I didn't want to
I don't
say
have the
anything
forehead
either.
tattoos. You're right. God, I'm so soft.
Oh, dude.
I'm going to leave and get a facial tattoo
we
just
need
for
one.
Diego.
After we leave here.
Okay, I got you. Okay, perfect. Deal.
Perfect. Can I watch?
Yes.
I just want to video the
I
whole
can do
thing.
the Mike. I can do the Mike Tyson.
Yes.
You guys are laughing.
Oh,
dude.
Dude. But yeah, I remember just getting out of that office, man. I was just devastated.
Yeah.
Devastated. And then I was devastated for because same thing, I had to wait 30 days.
Yeah.
And then I told Ashley, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kept
you
on
start
telling her.
doubting yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you realize that fear was so silly. You missed by one.
That's exactly
question.
what she said.
My exam was 125 questions. I got a 73.5 or 73.6, and you needed a 75.
Oh my god.
Which means I effectively missed less than 2 questions.
Yep.
I missed like a question and a half. And you're like, oh.
That's sometimes worse though.
Oh, no, it is.
Right. Yeah.
You almost,
dude.
And you never know. All you get is the fail score, 73 point. You can't go back through and be like,
what did I miss? Because they
and
don't want you studying the test.
Correct. In lending, so many of the questions are ethics based.
Yeah.
So you're like, of the 4 responses, 3 could be good and 2 are like actually the right answer.
Yeah.
And then it's ethics. So like, which one is the best answer? You're like, they're both good. So you try not to second guess yourself, and you're going through the test, and you're like, all right, question 1, boom. Question 2, boom. Then you get question 3, you're like, skip. Question 4, skip it. You're like, oh my God. And like your anxiety comes up, you're sweating, you just got there. I'm sweating right now.
Thinking about tests?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, that is.
We're going to give you a test afterwards just to make sure that you're paying attention.
Yeah, deal.
Yeah.
So I just want to say props to you, man.
Yeah.
Here's
props.
Here's the thing. Like, adversity creates a man. Like, it's amazing how we run away from it. And
Forged.
Forges us. It's amazing how we run away from it. We think, oh man, we can't do this. And then when we finally embrace it, we become who we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, that has to do with kids. I love that people are like, I don't want to have a kid. It's like, no, trust me, you need to have a kid. Because when you realize the world doesn't revolve around you, you have this fire that comes up that is, I need to just, whatever this child needs, I want to make sure they have it.
Yeah.
And so, like, even the fact you were able to find guys that weren't guys that you were working with before that were like, will follow you, that just shows the leadership that you have. That shows the heart that you have, and it shows the excellence that you bring forward, man. So all I got to say is props on that.
No, thank you.
Because it is, we talked about integrity on the last one. It's easy to just kind of get through life and not put your best foot forward. But I always, when you have a kid, you go, they're seeing me.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Your wife, you can do your best, and your wife will be like, you did great. And there's times I'm like, how did I actually do? You did great. Great's not an answer. Tell me from 1 to 10. You did a 3. I suck at life. No, you didn't. That's why I didn't tell you, right?
Well, your sons are watching you and learning how to be a man.
Yeah.
Yep.
And your daughters are watching you and seeing what they want eventually in a husband.
Yep. Exactly.
And then when you realize that, I mean, appropriately, when you realize that, it's going to add pressure.
Yep.
Right? And then you realize, okay, how I discipline my son in front of my daughter, or how I discipline my daughter in front of my son.
Correct.
They're not watching. So then sometimes I'll have a little bit of like hesitation in my response because I'm cognizant of what they're thinking about. I'm like,
Yeah.
So you just have to, live by your convictions and do your best, and then, do your best to not just go into the other room and think about like, I probably should have done that differently. But I mean, that's parenting. But I don't know how it was said. I loved how it was said, but you will never grow up to full maturity until you have children. And the only people that don't like that phrase
are people that don't have kids.
People that don't have kids.
And they'll say, oh, I don't need a child. And you're like, no, it's not that you become different. You become better.
Yeah. 100%. You become a better version of yourself
overnight.
As soon as, and honestly, I think you become a better person the second that your life no longer revolves around you.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, because it's less pressure. I'm going to be honest. I can be very particular. I can be very picky. That's why I'm in business, because I want what I want.
Yeah.
And I know that that's how I operate and that's how I roll. But I do know that other people, they're not that way. And having those particulars, knowing those things, and if I have to please myself and get the things that I want, I will drive myself nuts because I will get in my own way time and time again. But when it becomes simple and you're like, you know what? It's not about what I want. What do they want? Okay, they can only eat X. Cool. That's what we're going to eat. And that simplicity gets rid of this complication we create in our own life by self-soothing and self-promoting.
Yeah.
And and that's why I have issues with a lot of stuff that happens when it's like, okay, cool, that's great. Well, why is that all about you? What about other people?
Yeah.
What kind of community? Imagine if you ran a business and it was all about you. And then you have kids that are going, I want more money because I'm working this job because it's all about me. And it's like, wait.
It's like the opposite of the appropriate mindset.
And you can see that really comes down to a lack of fathers and a lack of positive role models. And that's why, that's why I'm saying amazing. Like, good job. You got 5 kids. You're plowing. You're doing a new job. You're respected by not just your workers, not just your wife, not just your kids, by people who love you. That's incredible. That feat alone, people will spend billions of dollars to try and achieve and never get that close.
It's true.
No,
and you have to allow so much of the business that's come your way to be that compliment, truly, because
right.
like when an agent sends a buyer my way, right, that agent is effectively feeding my kids,
Right. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We're taking care of one another with our, hey, Cam, do you have a I have something going on with my roof or something going on with this. Do you have a go-to GC? I do. Let me tell you about my buddy.
That's awesome.
You know?
Yeah.
So in a community like this, doing good work and attaching good work to your name
Right.
is just so
Oh yeah.
critical. And there's people that get that, and then there's people that don't.
Yeah.
But for those of us who do,
Yeah.
man, put good work next to your name. And sometimes, and I'm sure you've run into this, sometimes that may be turning work down. I'm thinking about a personal example. I had an agent come to me with a scenario that I thought was something other than honest. And it just, the second we were talking about it, would have made us good money. The second I was just kind of breaking it down, I'm like, okay, makes good money, but it didn't feel ethically right.
I get that.
Started to involve bending some laws and kind of scooting some things under the rug and not being transparent with an underwriter. I'm just like, I'm not so hungry for business that I'm willing to do bad work. And I told the agent, I'm like, I am the opposite of a yes man. Like I'm like, I love you. Thank you for the opportunity. Go ahead and, slide that one down the line. Go ahead and take that to somebody else. But yeah, small time, man. Got to do good work.
Got a question for you. Having 5 kids, businesses, you're the boss, you're doing all this stuff. What do you do to like chill yourself? Like, because I know there's certain things that I have to do to kind of like get out of my own head for a minute, because if it's all work, you go, I'm not spending enough time with my family. If it's all family, you're like, I'm not spending enough time with work.
Yeah.
But there's something that you can do in the middle that kind of,
Yeah. Man, I guess the only thing that I really have is maybe like snuggling with my daughters.
that's awesome.
Like last night we were watching, what were we watching? I think it's like Hotel Transylvania or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, that's like a fun time for me. I watch Clifford, and my daughter likes Cocomelon, and so we're just that's really
bro,
dude. But like you guys say, it's not about you anymore.
My life.
Yeah.
I can name all the Paw Patrol dogs and the extra dogs too.
Dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah. So that's my life is not about me anymore.
Sure.
So most of the time, I'm like today, you guys should feel good because I like put on a nice sweater.
Bro. Props that it's an Avatar Last Airbender.
Yeah, dude.
The fact that there's no like paint or any kind of like anything on there.
Exactly. Yeah. You guys are special.
We promise he's a GC. Come on now.
Because, most of the time I don't care. Like I'm wearing my pants full of paint and my boots and my shirt and my hat full of paint. Like I don't care. I don't live for me anymore. Like as long as my kids are well dressed and there's food at the table and I don't care. And we were able to get my wife a new car.
Nice.
So they're riding in a nice vehicle. It's safe. It's
That's
know
awesome.
you know what I mean? Like me, I'll be fine. I have older trucks. I like the older trucks.
You don't have the Saturn? The Saturn's not out there? Come on now.
I should buy one.
Dude,
So yeah, it's when you have kids, you have a bigger purpose. And when we even switched from an LLC to an S corp, and they're all getting a piece of it. You know what I mean? So it's
amazing.
It's neat that I can do that to them. And when my son gets to an old enough age to where he can be at the job sites with me, his butt's gonna be right there because I want him to carry on, what I started.
Absolutely.
So and then my daughters too. If they wanna, swing a hammer, hey, let's go.
I was just gonna say, if they can swing a hammer, man, get them in.
Dude, heck yeah, tool belt, whatever they want. I mean, and especially now, there's like all these trades that are here. Like nobody wants to do them anymore.
Nope.
Every single contractor that I talk to, dude.
Supply and demand, man.
Dude, it
Fill
is
that
nuts,
space.
So yeah, it's just and they're very well paid. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
dude, sometimes it like drives me nuts when I hear somebody, oh, I'm gonna go to college, and they're already in debt, 120,000, like before you even
Overnight.
make any money, dude.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, dude, go get your experience, go to school, because you can get in your GC license. You can do it one of two ways. Like you can go to school for those 4 years and take your exam, or you can go get experience for 4 years and then take your exam,
Which is much better.
Yeah, I chose the
Yeah.
experience better because then you get to see full hands-on. A book's not going to tell you how to lay out or read plans or
No.
dude, it is totally different.
Or how to read people.
Yep, exactly. Dude.
How to actually talk with someone, have a conversation that's not awkward.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it. You can
Yeah.
smell this is going to sound awkward. You can smell a college kid a mile away.
Yeah.
They walk in and they're dressed.
Can we
very nice.
snip it? Can we snip just that
Just
clip
that right
of
there?
audio and
Yeah.
just put that on Instagram? You can smell a college kid from a mile away.
No, they come in. They
What
look
kind
good.
of podcast do you guys have? Well, you want to hear a snip?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the only snip.
This is the only snip you're getting.
They come in, they say the right words, and you can see, and they're like, "Here's my resume," and you look at the resume, and it's great. And there's
Like you've never worked.
There's never any experience. And
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
what do you do when you're frustrated you've been working nonstop for 4 hours? The person's supposed to come in is like running a couple minutes late. You got to hustle out coffee. You're by yourself. How do you react to the customer?
Right. Yeah.
And then you'll hear, well, they need to wait and you're like, no, it's not the right answer.
Yeah. No.
According to the book, yeah, maybe, yeah.
Sure.
But there's that amount of ethical, like, I want to make sure I put the other people first. I need to do that. And it's funny because kids that start working younger have such a better work ethic than people that go to college and then come back out. Germany, they look at college, they look at work experience the same as college. So if you have 20 years of work experience or 20 years of college, they look at it the exact same, which I think is amazing. It's like, oh, dude, you've been a mechanic for 25 years? Props. That's amazing. Like, we don't look at that. We don't think about plumbers. We don't think about mechanics. We don't think about contractors. We don't think that's a good job. We're like, you need a better paying job.
Yeah.
You can make more money and be a worthless part of society.
Yeah.
And the whole point of community is, what are you bringing to the table?
Exactly. Yep.
And
That's where it's
so I always just find it interesting that you'll have like, oh yes, I believe it morally and ethically that the proper way of community. And you're like, you're saying the right things, but you're showing
I read that in a book once.
nothing in your actions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So true. Yeah, it was funny because when I did start doing construction, dude, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. I remember in my well, I was doing maintenance before I started doing full-on construction.
Sure.
But they weren't keeping me busy enough. So I said, dude, do you have something else for me to do? Because in 2 days, I'm done with everything you have me doing. And then 3 days, I'm just sitting at the office and it's boring.
Yeah.
Like, what, do you have anything for me to do?
Yeah.
Busybody. Put me to work.
So yeah, and then they were like, oh, well, actually we do. We have this construction, position opening up, and I was like, cool, dude, sign me up.
Nice.
But I remember like me doing the interview, and they said, do you know what a header is? And I'm like, nope. I'm like, I have no idea what that is. So I was so lost. But during when they interviewed me, they interviewed another guy, and he was actually a GC. And of course he got the job. He had his license.
Yeah.
But then when we showed up to the job site, he didn't even know how to snap, plate, and detail a house.
Yeah.
And then
How did
I'm
he
like,
have his GC?
he went to school. He went to school, dude. He was lost. Like he was like looking at the slab, and me too. I was lost too. And I went to him because I said, "Oh, dude, you have your GC license. Just show me how to snap, plate, and detail these things because, like, just give me a rundown because this is very, very new for me. I don't
I'll get it done.
Yeah, it was. And then he's like, dude, I don't even know. And I'm like,
What do you mean you don't even know?
do you have your license? But yeah, he's like, I went to school for 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's different. He's like, it's totally different than being out here. So he's all like, I got my GC, but I'm trying to go on my own, but I don't know.
Sure.
Then you looked at how clean his boots were, and you're like,
He did come dressed
we're
super
gonna
nice.
have a problem.
Super. Dude, that's so true.
Five
That's
guys.
so true. Yeah.
5 guys in suits wearing hard hats.
Yeah,
holding-
like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Diego, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna need a new GC.
Dude,
Maybe one with some experience.
Yeah, it was nuts, but yeah, getting experience was definitely the better way to go with anything, any type of business that you're trying to go into. In my view, at least the way I see things.
I agree.
Not to knock college.
No, not at all.
By all means. college is an awesome opportunity to learn, grow. If you have a like somebody who's an engineer, right? There are certain degrees that I want an engineer to have before he's building skyscrapers and houses.
Right. Yep.
Lawyer.
Absolutely appropriate, professions that need it and require it.
Exactly.
And then there's, and so many.
There's applicable colleges.
100%.
And then there's things that are not applicable at all.
100%.
If you're going to school for a hands-on job, just go to that place and say, hey, when I'm done with school, can I come and volunteer for 4 hours and show me the trade?
Yep.
Or there's opportunities, or there's situations like mine where I started at Sac State not really knowing exactly what I wanted to do, knew that I wanted to do something in business and something with exercise. So when I started at Sac State, I was a business bachelor's. After my first year, I knew that I wanted to do something more along the, the training or physical therapy side.
Yeah.
So then I started to chat with some of the chairs in the kinesiology department. And I was like, okay, I know eventually I want to work in some capacity in either business or kinesiology. Is there a path for me? And it was that my time at Sac State that led me into personal training, and it was my time as a personal trainer that I would have never, gotten into had I not studied kinesiology at Sac State.
Oh, for sure.
My bachelor's in kinesiology, exercise science, and I'm in lending, right? But it was my time at Sac State that was a stepping stone to getting into personal training, and it was personal training that allowed me to work with clients and people. And then you start to realize, okay, I'm more passionate about working with people than I am with just working in the fitness industry.
Right.
And then you start to think, okay, if I'm more passionate about people than just personal training, what other fields can you work in? And I mean, gosh, if you're passionate about people,
it's a lot.
And if you're good, if you can navigate a decent conversation and people trust you and you're honest and you lead out with transparency and you're humble, you can make a good clip of money doing anything. Then you start to realize, okay, well, what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about a client base. And then that led me right into lending. Now I'm in my 6th year in lending. So you can go to college and know exactly what you want to do, or you can go to college if you don't know what you want to do, or you can go out there and get experience. But the answer is never don't do anything.
Yeah. No, the answer is get up and hustle.
Go
do it.
Learn, go volunteer, go tiptoe into different trades, figure out what sets your heart on fire, and then
go.
I can't even name any story of anybody in history that has done something that just sat back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're like he's on the couch for 3 years and then went, you know what? I'm gonna become president, and you're like Abraham Lincoln. Everybody, you're like, no, what?
Yeah.
It's not. That's not the way it works. And I think what's happened is it's the overglorification of both. I think you have one side that overglorifies one thing and the other side overglorifying the other when the truth is in the middle.
Magic's in the middle.
And it's always adaptability for the person. The only thing that I will say is the questions that should be being asked to the younger generation is never asked. So like, you're a dad, you want to know what your kids like. So you ask them, you're invested in their life. You go, hey, so what do you want to do when you get older? And you're going to find a way to invite them into what you're doing. And there's that amount where I even told my kids, like, if you don't want to do coffee, that's okay, because I'm on the journey with you. See, I want you to be the best you can be, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the true heart. But we want them to do something, and we want it to be done with excellence.
Yeah.
And that's how you can really tell the disconnect we have. You can go to college. If you go to college and you spend the money, but you don't put any excellence forward, you barely pass your stuff, and you're not passionate about what you're doing, why are you there?
Yep.
You can have a job and not have any college and go 40 hours a week, not pursue, not push yourself, not do anything excellent for months, speak the company line, and then when they lay you off, you're shocked because you didn't know what was going on, and now you have no skills. That's also a thing. So I think that it really comes down to, like, you literally lost the job. The wife's like, let's go. And you're like, okay, I'm grabbing life by the horns. We're going to go.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's going to buck me off. I don't know what's going to happen.
But you're going.
But you're going. And I think that is what's missing. There's a drive that's missing. And your drive, I mean, most of us would say our drive is our kids. And so you've got a lot of kids that don't see themselves with a family. They don't see themselves being a part of anything. They don't see any accountability, right?
Right.
Or they're lacking the role model to show it.
Absolutely. And then when they hear the word peer pressure, they're like, yeah, I'm bullied. And it's like, No, there's good peer pressure. Like if you're not brushing your teeth and someone says your breath stink, that is not, that is a, hey man, you should probably brush your teeth. That's not a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
It's true. It's a
he
good way to
talked
put
bad
it.
about my breath though. That's bullying. It's like, no, I just want you to do something and
Right.
be you. And if you're not going to pursue it, then do something.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So and
Positive pressures.
positive pressures, positive community. And I think that's why we forge it by having conversations like this.
Oh, yeah.
People need to hear that there's more out there.
Yeah.
On both sides. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly. On both sides. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with and that same thing you tell your kids. And I tell my kids the same thing. If you don't want to do construction, dude, it is hard work. I totally get it. It's it ain't for everybody, but what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, and I tell them and I live by this. You do what you love to do.
Yeah.
Because then you're not working. It is not a job for me. It is, I get up, I do it happily. Yeah, I get my frustrations here and there's sometimes where I don't even want to look at the computer and turn estimates in because I'm like, but you know, we all have our days and nothing is ever going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But I love doing construction. I love serving people. I like, even yesterday I installed some faucets, just simple faucets for an older couple. And they were so happy. They were so stinking happy when I was done. They said, it looks great. Thank you so much. Thank you for cleaning up. Thank you for, and it makes me feel good that I did something good for somebody. Yeah. And that's with every single job that we do. You know, so I tell my kids, you find what you want to do. You know, my daughter wants to go to college and become a veterinarian.
Awesome.
You know, I said, great,
Heck
let's do it. Okay. She already has the horses. She's already kind of getting her training in there with, you know, with animals that she can.
Sure.
You know, my son's trying to figure himself out. He's 12. You know, he's probably going through a phase of, hey, what do I want to do?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I wish I could bring him along with me more, but man, sometimes in these job sites, you know, it's kind of hard.
You never know what kind of person you're going to meet. You don't know if you're going to get the nicest person. It's like, you brought your kid.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get the person be like, you brought your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I can't be transparent, Diego, about the conversation we were going to have.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. But, you know, I definitely feel like you should just find your niche.
Yeah.
Find what you want to do. But serving people, yeah, there's man, there's so much you can do with that.
Absolutely.
You know, and me, I was a very quiet guy. I was I was like, I don't need to know about you. You don't need to know about me. I came from a very dark place. So it was really hard for me. But, you know, with the construction job, God pushed me to become more, you know, to serve people because I had to talk to people, whether I liked it or not. I had to talk to the crews and say, hey, the framing needs to be done this and this day. What's going on? When is it going to be done? You know, when's the roof going to be done? When can I call the inspector? It forced me to improve my communication skills. And there's still, man, I'm still working on those. Because so many habits, right? After so many years of, I was the kid that would sit in the back and, you know, I don't want to talk to nobody. Nobody needs to talk to me. Even at school, I remember like people fighting in the hallway.
Wow.
And I was just walking. I
don't want to do it.
I would just kind of stare, look at it and be like, I don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? And everybody's like making a circle around them. And I'm like, dude, this is, it's just, I was very, very antisocial. But you know, and I think that if you have faith in God, and you just ask him, hey, what is my purpose? What do you want? What do you need out of me while the time that I'm here? Show me. Let me know what you want to do. Because me becoming a general contractor, dude, I never would have thought I was going to do this. Never. Yeah. You know? And I remember Ashley actually knowing more things. Like she knew how to change a garbage disposal. She knew how to change an exhaust fan. She knew way more things. I could put a nail in a wall. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. But when our faith started growing, I kind of started like, you know, in my own mind in the morning, like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? Yeah. Where are you leading me? What's my purpose? why am I here? And then yeah, he kind of, Ashley was the one that helped me get in a job and doing maintenance. And then it wasn't even maintenance. They had me cut the lawn. but I used to follow the maintenance guy around because I was bored.
Yeah.
I was like,
like, hey.
So yeah, 2 days I was like done with the whole property. It was like 4 or 5 streets of grass and bushes, and dude, I was done. So I would tell him like, hey, dude, can I follow you around because I'm bored?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, yeah,
Give me
come
something
on.
to do.
Yeah. So then that's kind of how it started. But you know, through all those things, God put me there for a reason.
Absolutely.
Like God put me there. His name is Nazario. Shout out to Nazario. He's an amazing person. He's running his own company now too.
That's amazing.
But yeah, that was the beginning of it. And then I started falling in love with whatever he was doing, because same thing. I saw that we would go in there, fix a light bulb or anything very simple, and then the tenant was super happy. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You know, because as soon as those work orders touched the desk, dude, we were on it. They're like, oh wow, the other guys used to take 5 months to show up. You know, we're like, nah, dude, we're here. Let's do it. Let's take care of it.
Doing good work
Right?
is rewarding.
Yeah.
It's so rewarding.
100%.
And especially when you have the quick turnaround like that.
Yes.
When you can make that impact, make their day, and they're like, Diego, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And you almost just want to remind them, like, well, I'm paid for this. Believe it or not, this wasn't, believe it or not, you paid me for my time, but they're still so appreciative.
Yep.
I love, like, when I'll get when I close an escrow and I get a review, like, that scratches like such a deep itch for me, because I'm reading through, like, Cam was amazing, and da-da-da-da, and we called him at 10 at night, and he actually answered the phone and answered our questions. And I was like, thank you. I was also compensated, So, But when you get those, the accolade or the attaboys, gosh, that feels so good.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you have the quick turnaround like that.
Dude, yeah.
That's
awesome. It's so rewarding, and yeah, it's a help me help you situation.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Like it's same
It is
same
duly-
thing with making coffee, same thing with lending, same thing with construction.
Duly
dude,
advantageous.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and good people help good people.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just been super amazing. But and there's just so many things that you can help the community with. I see you all the time, dude, like doing community service, and dude, I'm just like
trying.
Dude, it is phenomenal. I love it that you're making a difference in the community, and
Likewise, man.
it's good to see these things.
Oh, dude,
Like,
it's necessary.
Same thing with you. Dude, you do so much stuff here. It's crazy. They're like, oh yeah, Joe's doing this, Joe's doing that, and I'm like, what the heck? I never see Joe. Like, what do you mean he's doing that?
And that's why you don't see him.
I'm the gnome. I have my own little closet.
Yeah,
I hide
dude.
myself off.
So I feel like there's I go to to the Bible for this, but it's like you see what is it? You reap what you sow.
Yep.
So if God sees you serving people like that, you know what I mean? It comes back to you, and some people call it karma. I mean, whatever. There's like so many.
God or
phrases,
karma or the universe,
right?
call it what you
call it whatever you want, like, and all of us have a different language of
you put good out,
saying.
good comes back.
Yeah, dude, so and whatever that is, people don't realize that there's a lot of power in that. So that's why we're here in this world. We're only here for a short amount of time, man. Why not help somebody in your way, and and it does come back to you. It does, and just having that faith, it makes your life easier. It makes your kids' life easier.
Absolutely.
And and your kids see you doing that. Like, it's cool that now we're walking, like, the last time it's been a while back, but I was walking with my son at Sam's Club, and this lady needed help putting her groceries in her car, and I didn't even tell my son anything, because he knows that he sees me helping people. So he went and helped the lady put her groceries in.
That's awesome.
Without
my man.
And so
love that.
So good.
it is.
Love that.
You do those type of things, and they're watching everything that you do.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing, right? It keeps you on your toes, because they're like, oh, I've been sober for like 4 years now.
Oh, dude.
That's
amazing.
So but it's because my kids push me to that, because I'm like, man, I don't want them to see me like that. On top, on top of the problems and the money wasting, and you're just not you. But it's just like, I don't want my kids to see me. I don't want them to see that stuff with me, because I'm dad. I'm I'm the provider. I'm somebody who they're looking up to, and I just gotta be a good
trying to be that safe place.
Yeah, and none of us are perfect.
No.
That's what we're all screwed up somehow. We all have problems, but we try our best we try our best to do the right things, while we're here. It is short.
Absolutely.
It's very, very short.
Diego, no, go ahead, please.
I was about to land the plane, but if you
No, I was as well.
what?
Land the plane.
Oh man.
I was gonna say, Diego, thank you so much for being here. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say,
In much
Diego,
more articulate words, please.
you're amazing. Oh. I have no more articulate.
Land the plane. Joe.
Hey, Diego, thank you so much for coming on. We're super happy to
Yeah,
have you.
you're awesome, man.
Thank you.
If you're listening to this or you're watching it and you need some work around the house, you need some work, you need advice, this guy has got it all handled. General contractor Diego Hernandez is amazing. If they need to reach you, is there website, email, or something? Throw it out, man.
Best way for somebody to reach you.
Yeah, so best way would be just go on Google, type in Hernandez Handyman Service. In construction, I pop right up. It'll lead you to the office number. Ashley will be the one answering the phone. So just give her a call. She'll put you in. There's also you can apply online if you don't have time to talk to nobody. Just go online, fill out the sheet. It'll get sent to the email, and then we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
And real quick, last little thing on Diego. There is one contractor, excuse me, one general contractor that I know that I am uberly comfortable leaving the house with when Hannah and the kids are at home.
Yeah.
And I know that not only do my kids love Diego, because my son kept calling him Spider-Man, because last time Diego's at our house, he's on our roof. He's like, Spider-Man. I'm like, yeah, that's literally Spider-Man.
That's amazing.
But there's one contractor that when I leave the house, I am so comfortable, confident, and at ease with him being there, my wife there, and the kids. And that's Diego. And that is just one of the biggest compliments that I can give anybody. If you're comfortable around somebody like that that's working in that kind of capacity, and you're not there, and your family's there, and you know that A, good work is being done.
Yep.
B, your space in general and your family is being respected. This is the guy. So reach out to Diego. And real quick, what is your slogan? You fix what? You fix everything but
broken hearts.
I love that.
That's amazing.
We had to sneak that in before the show closed.
That's perfect. So, and if you need some lending, you got Cameron Elkins from Guild Mortgage over there. If you need, he can help you with any of your quotes, anything that you need on the lending element. You're looking at a house you're wanting to buy. You're curious what you qualify for. He'll look at your W-2s. He'll look at what you got and make sure that you are taken care of. And he will do it with a smile. And
most of the time.
And if he's not smiling, he'll give you.
I need more coffee.
He'll give you a discount.
And if I need more coffee, where can you get coffee?
Oh,
get out of line. Get out of line right now. If you're hearing this on Spotify, get out of line at any major chain.
That's right.
And drive over to Steelhouse Coffee.
Yes.
Incredible staff, incredible product. From the time you walk in to the time you leave, you're treated like family. That's exactly what you want in any business. Diego, thank you for being here today, man. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's been
All
a
the
pleasure.
best.
always amazing, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.